Just out of Newberry. The sun is just coming up to the east. There's fog around. We're just about 10 miles north of Lake Michigan, Green Bay area. And I expect we're going to see quite a bit of fog along the lake. Left at 7:30 this morning. Should be into White Bear Lake, well, maybe 4:30, something like that this afternoon. We'll see how that works out. The sunrise coming up there in the east. A little distorted through the windshield. See if we can catch some of that coming up. Nice sunrise. Apologize for the glare, but there's not much I can do about it. I'm shooting at a pretty steep angle through the windshield to get that because it's on right out my left window, and it's pretty much impossible to get a good picture that way. But you get a taste of it. A glimpse of the sun there coming up through the trees, coming through a small town here. And we'll make a right turn here and head to the west. All right, just coming along Green Bay here on the left. Seas are pretty calm this morning. All right, folks, we're just north east of Escanaba, located on Green Bay, Lake Michigan. All right, folks, here's some of the country and the border between Michigan and Wisconsin. That is Upper Michigan and Wisconsin. Gives you some idea of the terrain, tree cover, and right now the color change. It's kind of pretty. So far the day's been going pretty good. I've got one of my forward biminis flopping in the wind a little more than it should be. I'm not sure why. So I may have to go up and check that. I've got to make a turn here in a few miles anyway, so we'll do that. But right now I wanted to show you some of this countryside, give you a glimpse. A lot of color around right now. It's a really pretty day. 2 full days that have been sunny and a lot of color coming across Ontario and then into Upper Michigan and now getting close to Wisconsin. Very pretty. All right, we'll pick up the pace of the video and I'll just discuss one item that came up as I was pulling the boat out at Leisure Island Houseboats, and that was that I didn't have a high enough guidepost to see over the top of my cabin. And I knew I needed some kind of an extension so that I was able to see properly and align the boat with the trailer. If you have a dock alongside, that helps because that'll give you some kind of a longitudinal alignment. Or if you have a camera, and I did that last year, I put a camera up on the bow, but I found that it was a wide angle. It just doesn't give you the perspective you need. It gives you alignment, but not how close you are. I went ahead and drilled holes in the top of my existing guideposts, and I cut some PVC 7 feet long and stick in those posts. And that gives me enough height, tennis balls on the top, to kind of mark them and see them more easily because they're bright day glow kind of color. And that allows me to line up with the boat to the trailer really well. And but I did check the height to make sure that I'll be able to see over the top. And that's one improvement I made as a result of what I learned at Temagami this time around. All right, folks, we're in Wisconsin now. little east of Rhinelander, about 65 miles east of Rhinelander on Highway 8. Thought I'd give you a little bit more of the countryside. Okay, as you watch the fall colors go by, I thought I would discuss what my big trip plans are for this season. The primary one will be in midsummer, and that's up to Lake Nipigon, which if you orient yourself to Lake Superior and go right to the head of the lake, and straight north of that is Lake Nipigon. It's a large lake, probably 65 miles north-south and about 40 miles east-west. A lot of islands. The distances are farther apart from islands, so it'll be a little more hazardous to my health. So I'll need to be really careful. But it is in the planning stages, and the reason I'm going midsummer is because of wind and weather, to make sure I've got good weather for that trip. A couple of other items that I've added to the boat this year is a new VHF, also an autopilot, which was not planned, but it has been done. I'm going to do a short test trip of about 5 days down on the St. Croix River coming up shortly, just to test both of those out to make sure they're working properly before I go to Lake Nipigon. In the fall, hopefully, if I still am alive and well, I'll do Lac Seul, which is straight north of Minnesota. If you go up to International Falls and straight north, you'll find Lac Seul. So there it is. All right, folks, I'm just coming out of Crandon, Wisconsin. Now 25 miles east of Rhinelander. Plan to stop there for lunch. I wanted to film a little bit more of the color here because it's really pretty. All right, folks, just about to cross the St. Croix River into Minnesota. Last leg of the trip. Got about 40 miles to go. And I'll turn the camera around here so you can see me going into the valley here. Little darker now. The sun isn't out anymore, pretty cloudy. Still a fair day, but it doesn't show the colors as well without the sun out. So the river crossing here is the official border. There's the bridge. All right, folks, we're starting to come into White Bear Lake. This is our neighbors called Delwood Winery off to the right here. Coming up on the Delwood Country Club shortly. Pine Tree Apple Orchard, that's a big deal this time of the year. That's where all those cars are coming out of there. Country Club on the right. Lake on the left. It's what the town's name comes from, White Bear Lake. Downtown White Bear. Good to be home after 3 weeks. 23 days total time. 2 days travel up, 2 days travel back, the rest of the time on the water.